EA-6B Prowler, the Sky Pig aircraft that you've never seen. It was loud, slow, and resembled a flying chicken leg. Its nicknames included the unflattering Sky Pig, even as its crews tried to encourage the somewhat unwieldy chariot of electronic Armageddon. But Northrop Grumman's EA-6B Prowler was an attack aircrew's best friend, jamming enemy communications, gathering intelligence, and attacking enemy radar sites with its AGM-88 HARM anti-radiation missiles. It wasn't the prettiest aircraft in the Navy and Marine Corps arsenal, but it was wily. In its 48 years of service, not a single Prowler was lost in combat. The EA-6B Prowler is the primary tactical jamming aircraft of the U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Marine Corps. Outfitted with advanced avionics and jamming equipment, the Prowler was designed to protect aerial strike forces by jamming enemy radar and communications. It also performed electronic surveillance and gathered electronic intelligence. Based on Grumman's A6 intruder airframe, the EA-6B sports a radome on its vertical stabilizer, an enlarged cockpit for a pilot and 3 electronic countermeasures officers, and the ability to carry and fire anti-radiation missiles, ARMs. It's gone through multiple upgrades in its 4 decades of service, and its ability to suppress enemy air defenses remained formidable to the end. Grumman produced a total of 170 Prowlers. Not a single one was ever shot down in combat, but 50 were lost over the years in accidents. The first Prowler, the EA-6A, emerged in 1963 from Grumman's internal studies. The upgraded 4-crew EA-6B entered service in 1971, and in the mid-1970s was the only tactical radar jamming platform for all U.S. armed forces. Prowler squadrons were based at Naval Air Station Whidbey Island, Washington, and were deployed to carrier air wings as needed. Prowlers served in the Vietnam War and Operation Desert Storm, and participated in numerous other combat and support missions. EA-6B Cockpit. The aircraft is crewed by a pilot and 3 electronic countermeasures officers. The forward section of the cockpit accommodates the pilot on the port side and 1 ECM officer station equipped with the communications, navigation systems, and defensive electronic countermeasures, including the decoy dispensers. The rear cockpit accommodates 2 ECM officers and the ALQ-99 control and display stations. Prowler weapons. The Prowler is armed with the Raytheon HARM high-speed anti-radiation missile AGM-88. The HARM missile is used against land-based and seaborne radar-detected air defense artillery systems and surface-to-air missile systems. HARM has a range of over 90 kilometers, 80 miles. USMC Prowlers are fitted with the Northrop Grumman Lightning AT target pod for deployment in Iraq. The first was completed in 2007. Countermeasures. The ALQ-99 is an extremely comprehensive tactical jammer, operating over a wide range of overlapping frequency bands, including Band 1 VHF to Band 10 KU. The ALQ-99 development was sponsored by the U.S. Navy and Air Force. The Prowler carries 5 ALQ-99 pods, 2 under each wing and 1 under the fuselage. Each pod houses 2 powerful continuous wave CW transmitters, which use beam steering to direct the jamming signal at the threat. An exciter in the pod tailors the parameters of the jamming signal. Each pod has a control computer linked to the ALQ-99 Central Processing Unit on the aircraft. The Central Processing Unit, CPU, processes the received threat signals, manages jamming operations, and generates data for display to the crew. Prior to the mission, data on the characteristics of emitters possibly deployed by the hostile forces are downloaded into the threat library in the CPU. The CPU compares the parameters of detected threat signals with the threat library using signal matching algorithms. Threats are identified, located, prioritized, and the CPU recommends the action to be taken to counter the threat, or can automatically steer the transmissions to the target location and initiate the jamming sequence. turbojet engine. The aircraft has two Pratt Whitney J-52 P-408 turbojet engines, each rated at 50 kN. The aircraft carries a maximum internal fuel supply of 7,000 kilograms and can also carry an extra 4,500 kilograms externally in fuel pods. The unrefueled range of the aircraft on internal fuel is 1,800 kilometers, 1,000 nautical miles. For in-flight refueling, a refueling probe is fitted in front of the cockpit. The aircraft cruises at 775 kilometers an hour, and the maximum altitude is 12,550 meters. Increased capability, ICAP III. The final Prowler variant in service was the ICAP III, introduced in 2005. With it came the AN/ALQ-218 jamming system receiver installed into the aircraft, noticeable as the distinctive bulge atop the tail and operated in conjunction with the AN/ALQ-99 jammers carried underneath the fuselage and wings. ICAP III also had the AN/USQ-113B4 communications jammer, and as with previous variants, could gather electronic intelligence. This made another critical capability available for the combatant commanders, as the Navy had retired its final dedicated carrier-borne ELINT platform, the Lockheed ES-3A Shadow, in 1999, and its only other ELINT plane was, and still is, the land-based Lockheed EP-3A Ares II. Only 4 squadrons would ever operate the ICAP III. On March 14, 2019, the Marine Corps' last Prowler made its final flight. 4 members of Marine Tactical Electronic Warfare Squadron 2, VMAC-2, flew the aircraft from their station at Cherry Point, North Carolina, to the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum. In a nod to history, the crew made a detour over the Northrop Grumman factory in Bethpage, New York, where the aircraft was built.